Welcome to Revlog, where you get rebranded Bryan.
That's right.
And today we
I
get...
don't even know what that means.
and today you get properly bow-tied Aaron.
So much grief was given about casual Aaron last week. I want folks to know that the sartorial sophistication they have come to expect from me is not just a Sunday thing. I take this very seriously.
He does take it very seriously. Bryan,
We are in awe. We are literally in awe.
what do you think about this flower that's on his lapel?
What is the fragrance of that flower?
Yeah. Cotton?
It's beautiful.
Thank you.
Well, today we are in John chapter 20.
Yeah.
We come to the tomb today. So let's jump into the text. Bryan, what are your initial reactions to John chapter 20?
Yeah, a couple of things. One, have you ever heard in magazine articles or news organizations, they'll do a deep dive into a story, and sometimes they'll include what they call a TikTok, which is a moment by moment recounting, like the tense days in the war room, when there's a crisis going on or whatever, and they call that a TikTok. That's what this reads like. It's this happened, and then it occurred like this, and then this man got to the tomb first, and it is clearly a minute. There's a lot of minutia in here. There's all these details, and so it is like it's like somebody did some investigative reporting here,
which becomes really significant in the light of all the controversy that surrounded the tomb and the cross.
That's right,
and so many people were looking at it. So
that's right. And the second thing that's it touches on just what you said, Aaron, and that is that there is a lot of confusion going on. And you remember after these moments of national crisis, like the Oklahoma City bombing or 9/11, you had all these theories running around, and nobody knew exactly what was going on. And people thought it was this, and the news media would report this, and then they would go, no, that's wrong. And so there were all these things going on, and of course you have the truthers, which later on in the Gospels we read something, like Jesus' body was stolen or something, and so you have the resurrection truthers going on. So it's people. It's kind of the same as it is now.
Absolutely.
With momentous events.
That's right. Aaron, your initial reactions to John 20?
Yeah. So Bryan likes to quote really obscure Quaker pastors.
He does. Yeah.
I'm going to reference the greatest Christian apologist of the 20th century, C.S. Lewis. You might have heard of him.
Yeah, that's a little obscure.
Okay, well, roll with me. So when he, in his grief, observed going through the loss of his wife and how he felt, and he was journaling through that whole time, early in the book, he talks about how he couldn't hear God because he was just screaming, and he felt like God wasn't talking. And then later through his grief, he realizes God was talking all the time. He was always there. And I wonder if the ladies who went to the tomb and saw Jesus were just so clouded by grief they couldn't see him, and just that and God might have just chosen to reveal himself in a different way, at the appropriate time. But sometimes we get so clouded by our own feelings that when the truth is right in front of us, it becomes hard to see.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
that's right. As we keep moving through John, Bryan, what were questions that came to mind as you're reading this text?
Well, I think, first of all, Aaron, that's exactly right. It's almost a study in the psychology of how we respond to these gigantic events. My question is, am I as confused as those disciples were? I mean, I know the large outlines of this now. Jesus rose from the dead. He ascended to the Father. But I sometimes wonder if I really understand that this story changes all of human history.
Yeah.
And I still don't. I'm dense in that way, I think. I wonder, am I as confused as they are?
And do we live in confusion day to day as we're trying to live this faith from and in and through the cross? Are we seeing that clearly?
Yeah, it should shine. I think it should shine light on everything that is now, but I'm not sure that I let that shine. That I see things in light of the resurrection. I don't think I
that's
do.
good. Well, Aaron, do you have questions that?
So my question is Jesus' question: whom do you seek?
Yeah.
And if you've through these conversations, you've kind of figured out how I view Scripture. I love the continuity of it and how you go through there. You back up to John 18, and John says to Judas, "Who are you seeking?"
Yeah.
You go back to the manger, and one of the questions that is asked of the shepherds, "Who are you seeking?"
That is so good.
And
Yeah.
it's the question that needs to be asked
Yeah.
of all of us. Who are we really seeking after?
Yeah.
And even these disciples that are right there, are you really looking for Christ? Are you looking for the resurrected Christ,
Yeah.
as he told you he
Yes.
would come?
Yeah, and so as Peter and the disciple whom Jesus loved are running, I mean, what are they? What are they running after? Are
That's right.
Are they seeking the Christ,
Yeah.
or are they running after whatever this this event is that happened, or this mystery?
It's the
that-
question
that's in
for
Right,
us
front
all.
of
a
them?
fire
Yeah.
to put out. you
Yeah,
know.
or fire to put out.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I think it would be a good thing for us. We have Peter running, this disciple that Jesus loved, or running. They had this foot race. Maybe next week we could have Aaron and Bryan in a foot race. And
That's
so,
brilliant.
and so, if you would like to see Aaron and Bryan in a foot race next week, please comment below and tell us who you think will win that foot race.
Do we wear bow
Yeah,
ties?
or
in the,
athletic gear. Yeah.
do they make athletic? Does Nike make a bow
We
tie?
better wrap
I
this
don't
up
know.
quickly. Yeah.
So please let us know and who you think will win the race between Aaron
Don't waste
and
your
Bryan.
emails.